Hello friends, so now I am going to start to discuss with you objectives of financial management. But before I am continuing the chapter, I want to remind that we have already completed some topics of this chapter: characteristics and meaning and definition about financial management, right? So now I am going to discuss objectives of financial management. First, you remember there are two objectives: objective of profit maximization and objective of wealth maximization, right? Okay, this is a one mark question you have to remember in your preparation. Keep in your mind. Okay, the objective of financial management is for which purpose? Why we are making financial management? First, you remember the purpose is, I have just stated, for the purpose of create the more profit, and second, create the properties, wealth. Money and wealth are different. Wealth could be counted and value of the wealth could be changed, but money's value cannot be changed. Remember. Okay. So, through the use of the financial resources, financial management aims at economic maximization of owners. I repeat, through the use of financial resources, financial management aims at economic maximization of owners who are shareholders of the company. Because see, when any person is investing money in the company, it does not mean that he is investing just for that he has some extra money. No, everybody wants to create more wealth, so they are investing in the company. In that way, they are also owner, and their interest is essential to be kept in our mind, right? We have to think about this. Okay, one thing more. I have just stated to create the profit and to create the wealth, right? These 2 points, and these are two main objectives of financial management. Okay, let us start about profit maximization. How can we generate more profit? The simple way is by reducing expenses, and second way is by increasing price. But when we are increasing price, it makes difficult to attract customers, because everybody wants to pay only reasonable money. Nobody wants to pay extra money. That remember. So basic option is try to cut the expense without affecting to the quality of the production. This is the first and important way, right? The profit maximization. Now just I have stated in a simple manner, but one line meaning is given here, so you have to keep the same meaning in your preparation, right? Without any change, you keep the same line in your mind as given in your textbook. Profit maximization means maximizing income of the company. I repeat, maximizing income of the company first. So in that situation, I repeat, maximizing income of the company, so the investor purchase share of company with hoping that they will get maximum dividend. See, by investing money, everybody want to take the part in company's development and getting profit. Distribution of profit within shareholders in specific parts is called dividend, and dividend is always important point to remember. According to this approach, company should earn maximum profit out of its available resources. Whatever the company has, nobody will try to create the more resources, but whatever the resources the company has, they will try to earn the maximum profit by this way. So in that situation, this approach suggests the company that accept profitable projects only. Usually what happens, everybody want to earn the profit, so they are doing the productions, so they are accepting the projects, but some projects gives money at the later stage. So in that situation, the rate of interest on your investment will increase, and in that situation your profit will reduce. So nobody says that neither any project will give you profit, but how much proportion of the profit will come to you, and after how much time the profit will come to you, both create the difference in your earning and success. So as early as possible, if the money rotates, even though the percentage of the profit may less, but laterly the profit comes better, that is possible. Okay, company increases earning through shares with maximization of profit. See, when the people attract to the company by seeing the history of the company's economic structure, they give their money to the company. That create the trust in mind of the people, and it create the future hope for the company. So as the one person is earning, other also wants to earn the money. See, Reliance is the big example of us. Sometime before, Reliance stock was at 900 rupees, and now the Reliance stock is at 2000 rupees. So who have invested earlier, now they are getting more 1200 rupees per share. But it is of the stock market. But now the question comes, why the demand of the Reliance is increasing more? Because Reliance is earning profit, is doing better business, and is giving hope to the customers that they will earn more profit from the company. So they are investing more and more money in the company. In that situation, the Reliance demand is increasing more, even in the crisis period in the economic structure of the India. Okay. Now the second point I want to discuss is about objective of wealth maximization. The objective of wealth maximization is known as net present value. Now the question comes, net present value, NPV. This is a short forms. You have to remember. But what is the net present value? The net present value creates wealth for shareholders. What they have invested and what they are getting now. I have just given you example of the share price of the Reliance share. Earlier it was sold on the 900 rupees. Now it is selling on the 2200 rupees, 2100 rupees. Here, when the person is invested maybe 10 shares, for 10 shares, he has invested 9,000. Now he is getting for the same 10 shares 21,000 per total 10 shares. So now you think, where 9,000, where 21,000? Here its wealth has been increased by 12,000 rupees. So this is the difference. How it happens? When the financial decisions are coming to the light, the results make the value of the share in increasing or decreasing manner. But Here, the wealth maximization is on base of cash flow. I repeat, on base of cash flow. Cash flow means how much rupee come in the market. Only cash flow considered as measurement and accounting profit is ignored. This is a one line question. What is considered as measurement? What is considered as a measurement of wealth maximization? Only cash flow. But here, what is not taken in consideration? Accounted profit. How much money is coming is making your wealth. But how much profit you have earned is not taken in consideration. It will be ignored. What will be ignored about cash flow? The accounting of profit will be ignored. So it means net present value is difference between present wealth of company and investment required. So now question comes, how the net present value will be calculated? It will be calculated by one equation. Just I am giving you here. Net present value of the wealth is equal to present value of the wealth minus investment required. So it create, if the investment require less and money comes more, then your value will increase. Financial management take decision which create wealth of the company in maximized level. It means what is important to make the more wealth? Financial decisions are more important for creating more wealth forever. Okay. If the wealth of the company is maximized, it will be reflected in the price of the share. When the all people are attracting towards the Reliance, my example will continue. If the all people will attract towards the Reliance, so the share price of the Reliance will increase. I have just stated because it is demand. So in that situation, market price of the share will naturally increase. And in that situation, the shareholders' wealth will increase. I have just stated an example. 900 rupees share reached to the 2100 rupees share, means the 1200 rupees per share wealth of the shareholder has been increased. In that situation, the shareholders' assets will increase. Here, Professor Solomon statement and its meaning I am just indicating. He has favored objective of wealth maximization. Why? Because the objective of wealth maximization is superior than objective of profit maximization. Right nowadays, when we are, see here the explanation will continue by share market. Remember, when we are entering to the business, if any person is taking deep knowledge, he will think about the how much dividend the company is giving. But if someone wants to earn immediate money, he has only one option. First he invest, second he wait. As the price rise, he will sell. So in that way, his worth will increase. It's a great option. Nobody will ignore it. Am I right? So you understand, the wealth is more important than profit maximization. That everybody has to remember in terms of shareholding way of investment. Is that clear? So I have completed here the explanation of objectives of financial management. There are two objectives: profit maximization and wealth maximization. Right, my friends? Okay. Now the important point is coming: importance of financial management. See, importance of financial management is coming to discuss in 9 points. Okay. The first one is financial management estimates how much long term and short term capital will be required for business. Now sometimes the question comes for what's called long term and what's called short term. Long term means once you have invested and will not come immediately back to you. For the purchasing of building, it is called long term capital. But when you need the capital to run the business in day to day manner, for paying salary, for purchasing raw materials, it is a short term capital because it will immediately reflect in your purchase and sales. So in that situation, in both way, we have to make the calculation what kind of the capital we need, long term capital or short term capital. Because if we are taking money from the borrowing market, borrowing from the market, money market, at the higher rate of interest, and if it is a long term capital, it will not return back. And what will be your burden? Paying interest and return the borrowed money. These two problems will come in your problem, in your situation. So now you remember one thing: when you have money in your hands to pay, you do it, because at that time you are getting enough money to utilize. Capital structure is always important. For which purpose you are taking money. So for all these needs, estimation is always important. Without estimation, nothing decision is possible to take. Right, my friends? Okay. Now, acquiring finance. The second point I am discussing now. Acquiring finance means at how much cost the source of money will come to you. Cost means rate of interest. If in the easy conditions, terms and conditions, at the lowest rate of interest, it is better for getting money, because here the flexibility of your business and restriction of paying interest in larger amount is not on you. It's a better for you. But if it is not happening, then it is creating problem for you. Remember this line. Okay. So here from where you are acquiring money is creating impact on your business in larger scale. Third, planning and controlling. Planning is combined with effective controlling to make economic utilization of finance. I repeat, planning is combined or connected with effective control to make economic utilization of money or finance. Because without any planning, nothing utilization of money or anything become easy with success. See, utilization of money is possible, but with success is only possible when you follow the planning. And in plan, the work must be required to be done. If the work is not done according to plan, then the result will not come to you. That we have to remember in larger scale. Am I right, my friends? So keep in your mind, planning and controlling is always important for financial management and usually in any activity. So here in financial management it is natural. Okay. The fourth point is distribution of finance. Where you are allocating the money, what you have taken from whichever the source. So the distribution of finance among different department in such a way that every department get adequate finance. See, this is a matter of expert advice. When the expert is working in the financial management, he knows better that utilization of the resources must be done in that way where he may not have any worry or the problem. So I want to clear one point with you, that distribution of money is only done by expert, because according to the plan the distribution is required to be done, and that is only possible when two people are working very well on same aspects, because one is the distributing the money and second is making the plan. So as per the plan the distribution is required to be done, and it will be done as more and more money comes in proper way of flow to the person, because during the plan execution neither any option we have to take immediate change. See, contingency plan are made which could be immediately possible to implement, but it needs time. So sometime we can take immediate step, but that step is not possible with immediate point of time. It takes time. Within the possible way the work will make it diverted, but it needs some time. So the planning and allocation of money is required to be done in such a way that the work should not stop. So the adequate money is given here, but adequate money in the same moment may not available, but in according to the plan it may available as the time required is necessary to take in note. Okay, the fifth point is maintaining liquidity. For any business you need the money at time. Liquidity means cash. When the business needs money must require available to run the business activities. So for that reason sometime company create cash flow, company create cash budget and try to make the definite cash balance, so the maintained amount remain in hands, because all the time money is not possible come to us, but when the actual time comes the money will come to us. So at that time we need, at exact time the money may come to us. See, cash shortage will immediately stop the work. So as per the time, minimum cash keep in your hand to run your business at least, so the work should not stop. Right, my friends? Next one is distribution of income. Now comes to the point. Distribution of income means what you have earned. after earning the money, it decides how much profit you have. If the profit is earned, the distribution of dividend will become possible. So how much profit you distribute to the shareholder and how much profit you keep for the reinvestment, for the expansion of business, both are required to keep in mind. It is called distribution of income, because profit will be calculated only after deducting all expenses. You have earned 12,000, you have made expenses of 8,000. After deducting all expenses, remain 4,000 is your profit in a simple language. But this 4,000, how will you distribute? Here, if you are distributing out of the 4,000, 3,000 to the shareholders, means remain 1,000 you have, you can reinvest in the business. That is the reinvestment. Because this new 1,000 has come in the business as the new capital, which create more wealth of the company to earn the future profit and income also. Right? Seventh point is management of current assets. See, this is the important point to remember. Cash, debtors, inventory, marketable securities, bank balance, these are called current assets. You have to make the underline of the point. I repeat. Cash on hand, debtors, inventory, marketable securities, bank balance, these things are called current assets. And current assets is making your future financial management policies, even investment policy also. Because whatever you will do with whatever is you in your hand, if you are invested for the future, then immediately will not come back to you. That everybody has to know. So in that situation, you need money immediately, and it will come back to you after specific time. So cash and current assets, money available in the bank, is your possibility to create the new wealth for your future. Right, my friends? Okay. Next one is financial decisions. See, this is a crucial point to remember. Any business is dependent on which decisions a person is taking regarding dividend, capital, reinvestment of profit. Means here the person who is taking decision is creating deep impact over the activity of business in future. So in that situation, is necessary to make coordination between two different decisions. How much distribution of the dividend is done, how much reinvestment of the profit is done. If the distribution of the profit will be done in more proportion, distribution of the profit means the dividend. Dividend is done in the more proportion, then the reinvestment of the profit will reduce. And in future prospectus, you need reinvestment. But at that time, the trust of the shareholder is also important, and at that time we take the decision that immediate give dividend to the to the shareholders. So their trust may increase in more proportion on promoters or the administrators. Right? Okay. Now last point, raising credit of business. How the credit could be raised? Financial management contributes in progress of business and in development of business. So efficient financial management create future financial facilities. So the employees salary time to time possible to give, and creditors payment is time to time possible to do. These both things are done in time, create credit of the company in market. Time to time employees are getting money, specific dividend is given to the shareholders, as well as the creditors payments are given to them. These all things create the credit of the company in the market, which give them boost in future prospectus. Right, my friends? So here I have discussed today 2 points: objective of financial management and importance of financial management. Right, my friends?